And welcome inside Strobel Arena at Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. It is time for the 2025 PBA Playoffs Semifinals. The four survivors, the #1 seed, #1 player in the world, EJ Tackett taking on lefty Graham Fach. And the two-handed battle between Jesper Svensson and Chris Vai, lefty versus righty, will follow. All right, everyone, thank you so much. We're ready to roll here, and it is the race to 2. So winner game 1 gets the first point. Winner of game 2 gets the second point. If we have a sweep, then we're moving on. If we don't, and lately we have not, if we're tied after 2 games, we'll have a 9th and 10th frame roll-off, as we showed you at the top of the show. Graham from Urbana, Ohio. 2 titles, 1 major. And the semis begin with a split.
Well, if you're going to do it early, right? We talk about it a lot, opening the game with the 3-7. Let's see if Graham can cut that 3-pin over into that 7.
A little bit too much of the 3, so an open frame in the opening frame for Graham Fach. EJ Tackett out of Indiana, 27 titles, and is widely expected to join Mark Roth as a 4-time Chris Schenkel PBA Player of the Year. And that's how you do it.
Last time we saw EJ, he really liked this right lane, the longer of the 2 patterns.
Yeah, and that's interesting. You say 2 patterns. If this is maybe somebody joining us for the first time in the PBA playoffs, we'll get into the details of that in a moment, but it has been a bedeviling set of lanes. It seems like, Randy, no matter who the player is, there's one lane that's been giving him trouble. As a matter of fact, we're not going to mess around here. Let's take a look at today's oil pattern, powered by Kegel.
Hardwick 44 on the right, and the bat pattern 37 on the left. The longer pattern, players will play more towards the center part of the lane and feed it to the track area. The bat pattern, we see the right-handers using urethane, and the left-handers doing that as well, playing a little bit farther out. That is a Rhino purple black.
And a 6-pin on top of all of that for Graham. Graham, the #4 seed.
Just a pinch high, leaving the 6. He's using a black pearl urethane hammer on the left lane. I'll get back to EJ's arsenal here in a second.
Go back to January, and right at the top of the season at Mid-County Lanes and Entertainment in Middletown, Delaware. Graham Fach was the 3rd seed there and knocked off Jacob Buttroff in an all-lefty final by 77 pins to win his 2nd career title and his first in 3,261 days. Not that we're counting.
Yeah, that Rhino he's using on the right lane is a solid reactive. This is urethane, a lot of surface.
Much better. Yeah, here we go.
All right, EJ Tackett back up on the right lane. He is using a Sub-Zero Forge. And on the left lane, he's using a Rampage Tank Pearl. And again, that ball he's using on the shorter pattern, it's not really urethane. It's more of like a, what do they call it, like a microcell polymer.
It's very scientific. It sounds like something out of the $6 Million Man or Wonder Woman.
Good start.
Take a look at the tail of the tape, and EJ Tackett led the nation in strike percentage and strike after strike percentage, and also has an advantage over Graham in clean frame percentage. By the way, it's not like Graham's numbers are bad, because they're great, but EJ's are just off the charts.
Man. When you get it back from that number there, that's a good sign for Tackett.
Well, if you remember listening to him last week talking about, he feel like he threw some good shots and just didn't get breaks.
Well, he had a good matchup going up against Simonson, with Simon winning that first game, and EJ only mustering 211, and then really got lined up, finished big late, 258 to send it to a roll-off. Oh, man.
Ringer on the 7.
Well, we saw him do that a lot in his match with Kyle Troop. In the first game alone, he had 7 9 counts.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't he have some obscene double-digit number of 9 pins, and he nailed every single one of them over the 2 games plus the roll-off?
That was game 2. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 9 counts. Game 2, game 1 against Troop. He starts 4 consecutive 9 spares. He got 9 a lot. Never missed a spare.
And he knows this building well, too. That's where the USBC Masters was held March 29th. It was, at the time, a rather left-handed friendly opportunity, but it's been a little tricky for lefties so far. Well, if any of the pros on today's show bowl a perfect game, and EJ's off to a pretty good start, everyone in America can receive a free game of bowling courtesy of Go Bowling. To register, visit gobowling.com and sign up for the Go Bowling Free America promotion. Maybe next game. And the words "uh-oh" was all you needed to know.
And we've been looking at that break point on the right lane for the right-handers throughout this competition. And it's tough to get it back anywhere right of about 4.8, 5.
So a big moment in this match, perhaps, in this opening game. But winning the first game has not always led to success either. So it did in the first 2 matches a couple of weeks back. But seems like the game 2 winner then has that advantage going into the roll-off and wins. Just the second meeting between these two in a nationally televised affair. And that's how you come back after a bad frame. EJ Tackett still has the edge in max score. Graham Fach down by 25. So Graham Fach stepping back up here in the top of the 6th against EJ Tackett. Race to 2. And here's the details on that. So it's really very uncomplicated. You get 1 point by winning the first game. Then another point by winning the second game. If you grab both points, that's it.
Sorry, I see something.
The match is over. If they tie, we go to a 9th and 10th frame roll-off.
I can use the timeout, Tony. That's fine.
So something got in Graham's vision. It may have been a bug. It didn't bug him. And that is a double for Graham.
This looked like it was a little more up the lane, about 13-9 on that shot, and it holds its line beautifully. And now with one more, he can cut the deficit to just 5. It wasn't that long ago. He was down by 41. Oh, no way. Part of the reason why the scoring pace for the Southpaws has been on the low side is stuff like that. Just bad carry.
Well, it's been a few years. We're due.
Last time it was made was by a lefty. In fact, 3 out of the 4 are left-handed. Bounce it.
Only Mr. Roth, who was the first. Threw it from the right side.
Mazza, Stayrook, and the Ginger Assassin, all Southpaws. I bet if you didn't know that stat, you'd never believe that. It's like, all right, so I know you like to watch bowling. The 7-10 split's only been converted 4 times. How many times do you think a left-hander's done it? And they'd probably say, well, I don't know, once.
And
only because there's more right-handers.
Exactly. The math adds up. Well, the math doesn't add up, I guess. But you can avoid 7-10 splits when you throw it like EJ just did.
Again, watch the break point down lane, about 5.5, 5.6. That's perfect territory for him to get the ball to walk to the pocket. And just like that, the lead could have been cut to 5. The pocket 7-10 put an end to that. And now the lead for EJ Tackett back up to 39.
Tackett hasn't shot a spare yet. He's got 6 strikes and an open frame off an 8-10 split. Another strike. Paralyzed the 5. Dunked on the 7.
8-5 is pretty straight through the front part of the lane. You have to do that with the urethane ball. Well, okay, it's not urethane, microcell polymer, but the ball reaction is very similar to urethane.
4-pin with a big assist there.
To have any chance in game 1, he has to strike here.
Thank you, Jesper.
I don't know what thank you, Jesper meant. But he got one heck of a break on the messenger. In fact, you could say he wiped that deck clean, as presented by Dude Wipes.
He just channeled his inner Jesper with this flying messenger.
Wow, head pin just bruised.
Yeah, that 7-pin needs a Dude Wipe or 2 to clean up.
Nice kick save and a beauty on the 7.
Wow, what could have been for one pocket 7-10, right?
Agreed. You just have to try to build a little bit of good feeling about your game going into the next game and try to earn the 2nd point. Instead of letting Tackett get it, because if EJ gets 2, that's it. And he looks to be completely in control of his game.
Needs just 5 after that hit.
Five times 2 is what he gets. But he is just dialed in at the moment.
A couple boards inside of the break point down lane.
And what they're looking at occasionally, if you're wondering why the players sometimes look to their right, they have the access to the same stuff that you all do, the analysis and all that. So he's just getting some of that intel, looking at, okay, Randy and I are in agreement. These were good shots. Not that one, though, but that's okay.
That one hooked early on him. So.
No, I moved right, Randy. Just testing.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, CJ. So he moved right, testing to make sure that there's dirt to the right, and there is.
Now, when you say dirt to the right, what does that mean?
Friction.
Okay.
And that's what a strike ball will look like next game.
Thanks.
Very calm demeanor from a man who just bowled a 250. Now, Graham Fach will try to see if he can unlock some success in this 10th frame and build up a little bit of mojo for the 2nd game.
Big tug. Try to find something heading into game 2.
Suggestions? Equipment? Movement?
Well, I'm looking at his game, the errant shot in the first, and that one in the 10th. Really, it was only 2 bad shots.
Yeah, the open frame in the 7th was a pocket 7-10.
I mean, we're a long way away from the lanes where our broadcast booth is. EJ could hear me?
I think he knew you were saying something. He knew what you were thinking.
Oh,
he couldn't hear you.
He couldn't hear me, but he
sensed it.
Wow.
You guys have known each other a while now. You know, he just has that sense of when you're saying something now.
Interesting.
Yeah. And he had 2 titles at that World Series. Here he is, looking to get off the first good step in game 2. Well, we've seen him mix that up before for a strike. Instead, he'll have just 1 to shoot at.
Dang it.
That's a safe start for Tackett in the opening frame. Again, this is a must-win for Graham Fach, or he's knocked out. And EJ will go on to the finals against either Chris By or Jesper Svensson. And that match will be following this one. Right through the face. So 2-4-7 for Fach.
Through the nose again, back-to-back shots on that right lane for Graham. Question is, what's he going to do? See if we can't check in with Tour rep Mike Wolf.
Oh, got a piece of that.
All right, let's get out on the floor and talk with PBA champion, Brunswick Tour rep Mike Wolf. Mike, what adjustments does Graham need to make to get back in this?
Well, on the left lane, we got to get it to the dry a little bit steeper, a little bit sooner to get it through the pins a little bit better. He's pretty well lined up on the right lane, so that was kind of a bad shot in the first, but I think he'll be all right on the right lane.
Thanks, Mike.
Went a long way and just buried a 10 into the pit. So first strike of game number 2.
Good one here. Just like Mike Wolf drew up, get it there a little bit quicker so it gets to the pocket with a little more punch.
And the pocket 7-10 is crushed by a messenger taking out the 10 pin.
There was stuff flying everywhere.
Except at the 7.
About 26 miles an hour at this pair.
See the results for game number 1. But as we've seen so many times, the bowler who gets game 1 loses the second game and then is beaten in the roll-off. It's become a habit here. Ooh, that didn't sound good. Never mind what it looked like. And he's looking at the same thing that you all are.
Okay.
I think he likes this one, and it just breaks loose and goes right through the face. 4-7-10. So now I'm wondering, okay, well, he moved right when he said he did, and the ball hooked. So he knows there's friction there. Moves back to the left a bit. Throws that shot there, which looked like he actually liked it, and it overhooked. So he's going to keep bumping it in and probably make parallel moves left the next time up on the left lane.
Wow, looking for a double. Build up a decent early advantage. Well, that's just weird.
That's another crappy break.
All right.
Yeah, that's more like a 5.5-10 than a 5-10.
Trying to slide it. Nice.
Beautiful. Wow.
Great job.
Okay.
Grinding away, hanging in there.
Well, you called it, Pards. That was a clean wipe presented by Dude Wipes. And this was pretty filthy, too. And they got cleaned up nicely.
To make that, the players, they just try to go a little bit more half pocket with a strike ball. And that's how you're able to cover that. That time it got there too early. It got to that spot too early.
It's been happening to lefties throughout the 2025 PBA playoffs here at Strobel Arena. They have had a tough time scoring. And so EJ Tackett didn't really pay for that bad frame.
And 2025.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pencil that in.
Yeah. Now he's lost his mojo.
I think he turned that one early.
Got a 250 in the first game.
Typically when you miss left, the hand goes around early, elbow goes with it. 80% of the time on the 3-6-10. And you know how I know that?
I do know how you know it.
Yeah, our good friends at Lane Talk.
Commit to this one.
For more information, head on over to lanetalk.com, download the free app.
And you're right. He is right. It is pretty good.
Yeah, he chased that one in. Ball held its line perfect. Like one or two left with his feet.
Well, you talked about shifting left.
Yeah, he can continue to chase that, keeping his angle really closed off and real straight in front of him.
Messenger takes it out the 7. And a big one for Graham.
Wow, how lucky.
Finally.
That was sarcastic.
Oh, I know.
But that was sarcasm I was trying to throw your way.
Oh, I caught it.
Okay. All right, see if you can put 2 together and increase the lead to 11.
And that is a quiet 7-pin for Graham.
Well, he moved in a pinch, created a little bit more angle, and then the flat 7 or the urethane 7.
Well, Graham's had a lot of experience shooting at single pin, and incredibly, that was his first strike of this second game. He has the 1-0 advantage. If he gets this game, he'll move on into the finals against either Chris Vai or Jesper Svensson. If Fa gets the point, then we will go to a 9th and 10th frame roll-off.
That's pretty good.
And it is a double for EJ Tackett.
A better shot for EJ on the right lane, doubling up. Now the lead is his.
Come on, buddy.
Tremendous ball roll, revolutions, and that all equals pin carry.
He's got that wave to the audience down, too. He's had to do it a lot.
Pageant wave.
Well, you know what? He is the pageant king right now in 2025, then 24, then 23.
Looking over at his numbers. And just like that, Fa down 19.
An all-lefty PBA Players Championship final. Good mixer for Fa. Well, he struck the last 2 times on the right lane. Has not struck on the left lane since the second frame. Oh, it did not get it.
Yeah, I did what you wanted.
It got the drag really early and just boomeranged off of it.
Well, let's see if he can pull this off. No, wide to the wrong side.
Wow. And just like that, with one shot in the 8th frame, this match is all but over.
Yep, EJ Tackett looks like he is about to step into the finals. He had not ever done any better than a round of 8 in this PBA playoff since its inception. And he's crushing that. Well, everyone is entitled to their own opinions, but his are the only ones that matter. Colin Cowherd is the most interesting man in sports. Don't miss the herd. Weekdays at noon Eastern only on FS1.
Come on.
And
Hold on.
Come on.
you've seen a few of these. Almost, it seems like just about every bowler in the playoffs has been burned with a pocket 710 or 2.
A little bit worse or a little bit better would have been fine.
See if EJ can add his name to that list.
I've seen him make it before in person, but not in this environment.
Bounce. Fine.
Graham Faw strikes out. EJ Tackett would need a mark.
And there's the first hit for Faw in the 9th.
Number 4 on the points list this season. A great year, probably Graham's best year.
Yeah, he jumped from 14th on the points list in 2024 to 4th this year.
Two more just like it to have any chance.
Also owns 15 PBA regional titles. Father of 2. Oh, nice little drop on the 5-pin. And we might have a little 10th frame intrigue.
Go back to that shot in the 8th frame. Put a strike there. Graham would win game 2. Big shot. Big shot. 9, we have a tie for Tackett. Any mark will do.
4-bagger finish for Graham.
This one, good one.
Good shot.
You're right,
Yes, sir.
And you're moving on, EJ Tackett, into the 2025 PBA Playoff Finals. Finish strong with long drink. And this is a finish strong. Nothing left behind. Finish strong with long drink, sparkling refreshment, real liquor. Please enjoy responsibly. So the run of roll-offs has come to an end. A couple of weeks ago, the first 2 games, boom, boom, 2-0, 2-0.
Yeah.
And since then, we had nothing but roll-offs. But EJ Tackett has made the finals. Who will he face next? Jesper Svensson or Chris Vi? That'll be, of course, Saturday at 2:30 Eastern on Fox, of course. All right, bold race to 2, I should say. And Chris is the higher seed. This is 6 versus 7. Winner of game 1 earns a point. Winner of game 2 earns 1 point. If you do what Chris did yesterday and take both the 2 points, pack up your bag and go. You are moving on. And in this case, you'll take on EJ Tackett. The winner of this will take on the top player in the world. Well, a bucket to get things started for Chris.
Pretty close to where EJ was playing that left lane. The bucket. It's pesky. Easy.
Nope.
Yeah. Got it offline. Never had a chance.
You could hear him right away say, nope, didn't like it, and didn't have a reason to. Well, what's it going to be here, Randy? Pocket 7-10, solid 9, ringing 7. All this stuff that's happened to Jesper, and he's still in the semifinals.
He's still swinging.
Yep, it's amazing.
Jeez.
We shouldn't laugh.
Why?
But we can't
What?
help it.
How are you able to? Oh my goodness, that's kind of scary. You said all that, and then he goes solid 9. I thought you were just kidding.
No. You've been here right here the whole time.
Wow.
You've seen every one of these breaks that he has that have not gone his way. But he at least has a clean first frame. Take a look at the tail of the tape between these two from the 2025 season. Jesper with a slight edge in strike after strike percentage. Clean frame. I mean, that's about as narrow as you can get. Same thing for strike percentage between these two. There we go.
Urethane on both lanes for Jesper. Attention star S2 for Chris on the right lane. IQ Tour 78U on the left. Remember, longer pattern on the right, shorter pattern on the left.
Oh, there we go. There's a 9-pin. Reluctant, but down it goes.
Pretty much the same ball combo he's been using throughout.
All right, well.
The ball actually didn't hit the 9-pin. It went by the 9-pin. Another pin hit the 9-pin. I think it was the 3-pin.
Stack it.
That messenger fails.
All right.
Well, a bucket and then the urethane 10 on the left lane. If the match stays close, he'll stay in the urethane. If the match gets out of hand, look for Chris to start looking at different pieces of equipment for that lane.
Two good shots.
Again, if you can hear Chris, one thing we commented on a week ago is his demeanor. And he's talking to himself and always a positive message for himself. So listen into that from when you get the opportunity. You take a look at Jesper's arsenal.
Yeah, IQ Tour 78U, both lanes for Jesper.
There we go. A double for Svensson.
Looks like two different IQs for Jesper.
Yeah, he did that last week, too.
Yeah. And the 7 barely went. Winner at Tournament of Champions not too long ago.
He dominated that tournament, too.
Yep.
Slightly off, leaving just the 7-pin to shoot at. Both of Jesper's matches have gone to roll-offs against Jacob Buttriff and Andrew Anderson.
The highest game throughout the playoffs by a southpaw. Graham Fach, 210. Look out.
Oh my, that got away from him, and he caught a huge break right there.
Big miss in.
Well, take advantage of it. Trust it over there, dude. Come on.
Yeah, we talk about that miss from in. It's typically when the players don't feel like they can miss the out.
Chris, the third player to bowl multiple televised 300 games. He bowled the 30th and 32nd televised 300 games in PBA history. And he was the first to do it in the same season.
Good shot.
Way to take advantage.
Good job.
See? He even said it. Jesper using two different IQs. The one on this right lane, a stronger layout with more surface. Makes sense because that pattern's slicker, it's longer.
Broke up the bucket, ended up with just half of it. 5-9 for Svensson.
That 3-pin trip in there makes this a whole lot easier.
All right, covered up nicely, and look how close the max scores are as we approach frame number 6. Jesper looking for his first strike since the third by working a double. Ooh. Oh, good night and good luck. Jesper Svensson wipes out the rack in the 6th frame.
Shot.
All right, come on.
That might be Chris's biggest hit so far.
And a much better shot than the last time up on that lane when he crossed over and went, well, it was pretty much a nosediver. And now all of a sudden it's 3 in a row. So he followed it up with 2 really nice hits and now takes the lead by 1.
3-bagger for Vi. Yes. Oh, no.
That's all right. Not a very good one.
Runaway messenger right in front of the 10.
He's handling that better than I am right now.
Yeah. Wow. Watch this. That head pin got slung across the deck.
Clean pickup. Now the max score shifting in favor of Svensson.
Very good.
It's a hair right of target, but certainly got to a spot where it could have struck easily. Now all even. Svensson with 2 strikes in the 7th and 8th can take a 20-pin lead.
Wow, just a beautifully looking shot, beautifully executed shot, but wow, ringer.
So let's see, on that right lane for Jesper, started with a solid 9, then he struck, then he went light and left the 5-9, and then that. There it is, you can see it. That expression tells it all. A great shot. He was working on a strike. Cover it here, and then look at your max scores.
Next weekend, the greatest spectacle in racing is coming to Fox. The 109th Indianapolis 500 next Sunday, May 25th, only on Fox.
See that layout, the ball he's using on the stronger lane, the shorter pattern, that pin up.
Get lucky.
I'm not sure he's the guy to be asking for things to get lucky, given the bad luck he's had, but he didn't get lucky there.
I think that's a good 9.
Because?
Because it was way inside, way right. And that's why he said get lucky.
Well, the result of that ball going through the nose is just the 6-pin. As you can see, a little concern from Jesper. Eyes got kind of wide there.
Big chance here for Vi.
Oh boy, I was in all the way.
Trust it.
He won't trust it over to the right. And that was his second good miss or big miss inside. This time he doesn't get away with it.
So I guess, Randy, the question I have for you, we have talked throughout these playoffs about guys trusting shots or not trusting shots. We hear them say, I have to trust it, but yet they don't trust it. What happens there? What causes that?
Well, hang on.
Oh, yes!
That's why. I had a feeling he was going to cut it over there, and he did. Wow.
Mom and Dad on their feet. Yes, this is the Pilgrims moment of the match. Chicken can be boring, but Pilgrims is turning chicken nuggets upside down like this match was just turned upside down. I love it. You love it. Put it in a nugget.
That could potentially be a $100,000 conversion. But to answer your question, Dave, the players know that they have to get it to a certain spot. They also know in the back of their mind if it's a little wide of that, it's going to wash out, or 2-4-8-10 for a right-hander. And so it's always that little question in the back of your mind, what if I get it too far? And that's
what happens.
That's what happens.
Okay.
It's a little overcompensation move. That was a good shot as well. So,
good shot.
All right, Dave, you got to get it to 8, right?
Good shot.
If you get it to 8, you're going to strike every time. If you get it to 9, we're going to punch you in the face. All right, I'm sorry. If you get it to 7, we're going to punch you in the face. Okay, so you're like, all right.
Got to get it to 8.
But you're not going to get it to 7, are you?
No.
Because you know that the results are not going to be good.
No.
If there was big mistake area outside, right, the players their swings would be so free and so loose, they'd get it there every time.
Good shot.
It's that slight apprehension that a player has knowing what the end result is if it's too wide of target.
So Jesper Svensson can lock out Vi in the 10th and the 9th, of course, and take that first point. Ooh, that was wide.
And just like that, the count now is all even if he converts the 3-5-6.
Sets us up for a huge 10th frame. Just a little over 71% of the time this is converted.
Good cover.
All right. Well, Jesper cannot lock out Chris Vi. But he can make him throw all three. Let's see what happens. Because, you know, the Jesper Svensson matches have just been yuck fests, full of comedy and laughter. They're just unbelievable. Every one of these games.
Seriously? Are you serious? Now, it was inside a target a bit. But I think it's fair to say that that wasn't a very good break.
Take a look at it one more time if you dare. Even just to make it worse, there's a pin. It's like it might have been the head pin or the two just sort of spinning around aimlessly.
Well, if Jesper gets at least 8, he'll have his second 200 game of this event. Big shot here, the fill shot, though, because it really dictates what Vi has to do in the 10th. Vi would need to fill 20 to win by 1. Big shot. Vi must strike on the first ball to win, or to have an opportunity to win. So strikes Barry, he wins by 1. On a lane, he's had trouble trusting his ball to the right.
Looks pretty good. No, it got in. It got in. And it's going to be the first point to Jesper Svensson. I thought for a second there, Randy, that was going to be just right in the pocket, but it did not make it there. And instead, Jesper Svensson gets the first point on the race to 2. So
that was pretty good. All right.
Well,
transition, he thought it was pretty good. We thought it was pretty good. The numbers look like it was pretty good, and it goes high.
this will be interesting.
He's throwing a strike ball there.
Yeah. Well, we talked quite a bit in this sport about trust. Right now, Chris Vi's got to capture that trust. So, Jesper Svensson has the first point. If Vi wins this game, we will have a 9th and 10th frame roll-off. The winner of this will take on EJ Tackett Saturday at 2:30 on Fox. And that is an explosive strike for Jesper.
Jesper will finish this game on the right lane, Vi on the left.
That's all you can do.
Chris Vi, four strikes, game 1. Svensson, 4 strikes in game 1. In again,
Yes.
will not trust it to the right.
So when that happens, and it's happening now consistently, would a different equipment help? Just find a ball that maybe you'll trust?
I think you have to see it get to that spot so that your brain believes in what it is you're trying to do.
Okay.
I don't see how going to a different ball is going to get you to throw it better.
Got it.
Just get it over. You got to somehow talk yourself into getting it over there. And I'm telling you, sometimes it's not easy to do.
Well, it's clearly not. I mean, we're seeing it happen right now with one of the best bowlers on the planet.
You want to go back to the end of my career where I was locked up, where I didn't feel like I could miss left or right.
Right.
Now you try prying it off your hand when you have that. You know, obviously that dictates scoring pace as well, right? If I have room left or right, I'm going to hit the pocket a lot. If I don't, I'm not going to execute as well. I'm not going to hit the pocket as many times. But changing balls for Chris on that right lane, I don't see how that's going to help him.
Okay.
If he throws a good shot and gets it to that spot, it doesn't recover, then you go to a different ball.
Okay, right. Gotcha. There's a good shot, and that's Chris Vai with a strike in the second frame.
Yeah, changing balls off of a poorly executed shot's not going to help.
Jesper got his career off to a fast start. 13 titles now in his career. And hey, he would have gotten that pin one way or the other. Either the little nick or the messenger that was coming over to help out. Messenger certainly would have gotten the job. And a double for Svensson in game number 2. Past 2015 Harry Golden PBA Rookie of the Year. And it's a 3-bagger.
All right, now Vai back to the right lane. And Dave, I don't think that Chris has actually even looked at a different ball throughout this competition on that right lane. But now for the first time, I believe he is. Looks like an Origin EX.
Oh, give me a break. Or give him a break.
That's a good shot.
Seen this movie before. Change balls, make a little bit of an adjustment to try to start striking and throw a pretty good shot, and it's another open frame potentially.
And he's had one big conversion, but not going to get that one.
I mean, just keep fighting, keep making good shots.
Yep, that's what he's been doing throughout. Had a fairly easy go against Belmonte, especially in game 2, but his first match against Ryan Barnes, I don't think he struck for the first, what, 5 or 6 frames?
6 frames in the first game,
yeah.
But then he started steadily building up his arsenal, and when he came to the second game, when Ryan kind of ran into some trouble and he had some lane issues, Vai just took over and won the roll-off. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
This one doesn't pick up at all. And now I'm wondering if he's running to the point where he needs to switch balls on that lane as well.
Yeah, he's in that uncomfortable zone that bowlers, even the best, get into. A little trouble with the line, but he's able to make the conversion. Jesper with the front 3.
That was good. I think you just got to go a couple more.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't think it was going to shake that much down the lane.
No. He did the right thing. He got to the spot, came off it. It wasn't as forward as the S2, so.
He's talking about what he's going to do on the right lane.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
It's all right, a lot of frames left.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying it well. Just...
Meantime, 4 for 4 for Svensson to start this second game.
This is the beauty right here for the Iceman. Some call it a four-bagger. Some call it a ham something. It's not a ham sandwich. What was it? Ham bone or something like that? I like four-bagger. Now he's looking for 5. And a 52-pin lead halfway through game 2.
Oh, that is complete devastation.
Jesper Svensson, runner-up last season to Kroll. Looking to get back there once again. If this doesn't strike, I don't think Chris has a chance to win this game.
Well, that's a big one for Vi to give him a little bit of pulse.
Come on.
Just a little jolt of electricity for Chris.
4 deeper on the right lane with the ball change. And maybe because of that move, increasing his angle a bit more, maybe now he's going to be, it may be a little bit easier for him to get it over to that spot.
That was almost a screaming disaster with the 7-10.
Good shot.
Now, Chris is running the 2 problems. He's not as sharp as he needs to be, and his opponent is 5 for 5 in the strike department.
Do you notice the difference in the dew?
For
Jesper, he was sporting a completely different dew
yeah,
last
you're
year.
right. I didn't catch that.
He'd like to catch this one. How about a 6-pack for the Iceman?
Ice cold.
Somebody's gotten comfy. Somebody's gotten real comfortable. And when that happens at this level, the execution starts to go up. .62-pin lead. Oh my God!
Well, if there's ever a good time for that to happen.
There's never a good time to see that. Oh my God, that's disgusting. That is awful.
There goes the ball.
Look at how, I mean, it's just perfect. Perfect. Oh. Nice shot, Jesper.
Well, he sits down, still leading by 61.
I wanted to see 300, Dave.
Yeah, and I really thought after those first 6 shots, you started to think that was a possibility. And then that 7th shot, and you're looking at it, and right at that blink of a moment there, that, oh, yeah, let's go. Oh, no, it's not.
Hates it.
Yeah, the slump shoulders gave it away. It's just not there. This is a little bit, actually.
Just locked up. He's just locked up.
This looks like what he watched with Jason Belmonte last week when Belmo had a very similar game in that 2nd-point game where he just couldn't get it to go his way. Period.
It was actually kind of the polar opposite in terms of reaction. Jason would get it to the right and it never hooked. Looking more and more like it's going to be a Jesper Svensson, EJ Tackett showdown for 100 grand.
Come on.
Neither EJ nor Jesper have won the PBA playoffs.
And also looks like it's going to be the highest game for a southpaw here at the playoffs. Good shot, Chris. Good shot. He's a fighter. He's not a quitter. But unfortunately, there's not enough frames to catch the Iceman. You talk about the left side of the lane. It's so feast or famine on the PBA Tour because of the oil patterns, right?
Right.
I mean, some weeks they have 0 on that side of the lane. Some weeks it's pretty nice.
Well, USBC Masters, we had a bunch of lefties in the show. And I thought he might get some little gang up on that 3-pin there.
Some weeks they have an advantage. Take, for example, the Tournament of Champions where the left-handers did very nicely. But the week prior to that, they had nothing.
Oh, major shutout.
But
Yeah.
you look at players like Graham Faw, Jesper Svensson, Jacob Butcher. These guys are fighters. And even if they don't have it one week, they keep it together because they know that the next week could be their week, and they have to be prepared and ready to take advantage of it. That's why Graham Faw was your number 4 on the point list this season. That's why Jesper Svensson was number 7 by virtue of winning the Tournament of Champions. Jacob Buttriff fighting his way back from a miserable 2024. You never know when you're going to get the chones on that side of the lane. You have to be ready for it.
Well, this is Jesper's biggest game by a mile and a half here in the 2025 PBA playoffs. There we go. And it is over.
Yeah.
Jesper Svensson has earned a second straight finals berth in the PBA playoffs. This time his opponent will be EJ Tackett.
How about Jesper Svensson? He could possibly go back-to-back tournaments winning 100 grand. That's cool, $200,000 in 2
like
events.
it, yeah. Buy his young daughter some nice
Add another
toys.
one to it.
Well, Chris Vi on Mother's Day was able to give his mom a wonderful gift by winning and getting into the semifinals. A week after Mother's Day, Ms. Vi is here and gets to at least spend some quality time with her son, but he didn't get any quality time in this match with the lanes. It just wasn't there for Chris. There's the family right there. Angie and Craig.
EJ Tackett's had a couple of 250 games in his matches. Jesper Svensson with a strike in the 10th will be in the 250s, by far his highest game of the playoffs. This is going to be an absolute barn burner for the 2025 playoffs. And there's EJ right there watching the whole thing.
Yep.
Think I got it?
Southpaw versus right-hander once again.
One-hander versus two-hander.
One-hander versus 2. It doesn't get any better.
Yep, Jesper Svensson really had to fight his way through the first 2 matches to get to this point. And this one was finally a little bit easier for him. And he bowled beautifully.
Even the solid 9s couldn't stop him today.
No, and he had a couple of them.
Yep.
Of course he did. But Jesper Svensson is your winner and is on to the 2025 PBA Playoffs Finals.
Great bowling, dude.
Thanks, bro.
Best of luck to you in the finals, man.
Thank you very much.
All right, bring it home for us, all right? Thank you. Yeah.
So both of our matches were sweeps. EJ Tackett coming up with the sweep of Graham Fabb, and Jesper Svensson taking out Chris Vai in 2 straight. And the race for 2 was a sprint to 2 today. So there it is. We're all set. Saturday, 2:30 Eastern on Fox. Live, EJ Tackett versus Jesper Svensson.